Hello everyone, good morning to all of you. I hope that you are doing well. This is me Sayyid Shujatullah. Welcome to Telangana Exam Center. Today onwards, we'll be also discussing about model question and answers based on our Telangana Economic Outlook 2024. This outlook, you might be aware of this fact. Yesterday, budget was also presented in our assembly and outlook was also released. So on in the outlook, if any new concepts comes, then I will be discussing that particular concept in a mains orientation also and also for the group 2 students. Okay, so let us start our discussion. So the concept number one that I have found in our economic outlook, that is on the page number 3, which is debt per capita. What is debt per capita? This particular word is mentioned in our economic outlook. Explain its implications on government spending and also on the people. And you will be asked to also write the current trends according to the socio-economic outlook 2024. Very important discussions I am doing with regard to the economic survey. Group 2 and Group 1 people, please stick to this particular series, stick to my channel and spread to all of your friends. We are doing a very qualitative work. Obviously, it will be helping you in the examination for sure. So before going into the discussion, a small advertisement, please don't mind for that. Okay, so you can see here, these are the papers that we are actually offering: paper 4, paper 5, paper 6 and general essay. This 4 and these are the course detail, and if you are taking only test series of this 4, you will be getting the course in this amount, and if you are taking the classes and the test series, you will be going to get all of this in this amount. So please pause the video and see all the features. You can connect to this particular number. Okay, I will be talking to you and we can go ahead in our preparation. Okay, let us start our model question and answer. Okay, so let us zoom it little bit here. So topics of discussion we are having: meaning of debt per capita, formula, implications, how to address this particular issue, and outlook 2024 data. These are the topics that we are going to cover now. Okay. So debt per capita, page number 3, it is mentioned. It is calculated. Debt is nothing but government debt. Means government will have shortage of funds. Obviously, a growing economy, a developing economy, the expansion of infrastructure, and when the poverty is also there in the country, the social welfare schemes run by the government obviously increases the revenue and the expenditure gap. So that particular difference between revenue and expenditure, which actually generally comes to negative in both in our country and also in our Telangana. So to fill that particular shortage of funds, generally governments will go for what? Borrowings. You might be aware of this fact. So borrowings are nothing but you have to pay one or the other. They are not. Yes, that's why borrowings are called as debt. Okay, this point you remember. So now apart from that, there is another important word is attached to this: per capita. Again, remember one point: just like per capita income is nothing but on an average an individual earns how much in a given year, that is called as per capita income. Here also, if government is having 100 rupees of debt, okay, among the population, that 100 rupees will be distributed how much? Okay, so let us suppose for example here in our Telangana, let us suppose for example in our Telangana we are having 10 people are there. Remember this point. In our Telangana, the total population, let us suppose we are having only 10 people are there. Let us suppose like that. Now, government is having debt of how much? Let us suppose 100 rupees is the government debt. So it means what? That 10 people should bear this 100 rupees. It means on an average, every person will have 10 rupees extra debt. 10 tens are 100. So this is what generally happens when a state government or when a national government will have a particular debt. That debt, if it is distributed among the population per person, how much that debt will be actually is there. That is called as debt per capita. So I have clearly explained you what it is. So in your introduction of your answer, you are going to write this one. It is calculated by dividing jurisdiction total debt. Jurisdiction here is nothing but our state government is one territorial jurisdiction. Okay, so the total debt of Telangana divided by the number of people living within it, almost like 3 crore 50 lakh 0.04, or you can say that 350.04 lakhs people stays in Telangana. So whatever the Telangana government debt is there, it is divided among all of them. So you will get a number. Why we have to do all of this? What is the use of this? I'll come to that in the second part of the question, that is implications. Right, after writing this in the introduction, you have tried this one. It is calculated as both short-term and long-term debt of the government minus cash and cash equivalents. Remember one point here, cash is nothing but exactly the liquid amount of money, the currency you are having in your hand is called as cash. Now cash equivalents are nothing but whatever government holds in the assets in the form of bonds, in the form of gold, whatever it is, that is also equivalent to cash or not? Yes. Why? Because when government sells it, government will get money. That is also called as cash equivalents. Remember these points. So whatever debt government is having minus the amount of money the government is there, okay, that is called as what? Debt. Remember this point. Short term and long term debt minus cash and cash equivalents. Debt per capita is one way to assess the level of government debt. How much government debt is there, we can able to understand with the help of this particular concept. If the debt on a particular individual is increasing, it means what? Government debt is also increasing. It is a vice versa situation. This statistic is often used to make political statements about current fiscal policy rather than a true economic indicator. Obviously, one person is having how much debt is not going to help to the government in order to frame any policy, in order to take any steps. Okay, that's why this is not a true indicator of the economic strength or economic stability. It is basically important for the political statements also. Nothing but in the assembly, Revanth Reddy sir may say that, see, debt per capita has decreased. It means per person I have decreased the debt. He can just say it, but to use it as a tool of economic growth or use it as a tool of policy formulation, it will not be that helpful. So that's why it is not a true indicator of economic strength or stability. Remember this point. So these are the points that you have to include in your introduction. After that, we have to address a second important part of our question, that is implications we have to discuss in our examination. Let us see the implications here. Okay. Now, the moment we know the debt per capita, it reflects more degree and severity of borrowing. The more and more debt per capita is increasing means on an individual debt per capita is increasing means it means government is borrowing more and more. Okay, and it also is like you can understand that it tells you the severity means right now the government debt is per person is 10,000. Suppose it increased to 20,000 means a high jump will be there, right? So this jump is called as severity. So remember this point. So increase in debt per capita, the rate of growth of this debt per capita will give the more severity of borrowing by the government. If it increased, okay, against the prudent fiscal norms and vice versa. Remember one point here, prudent fiscal norms are nothing but where the fiscal consolidation, fiscal deficit is within the limit. Means government is taking so good measures that fiscal deficit is not increasing. When fiscal deficit is not increasing, it means borrowings will also be less. Okay, that's why whenever debt per capita is increasing, it is nothing but it is going against prudent fiscal norms. Means good fiscal policy government is not following. Government here is inefficiently planning. Government here is not so good with regard to its financial aspects, that you can understand, and vice versa. If the debt per capita is decreasing, it means government is following a very good prudent fiscal norms. Remember one point here, I will tell you once again, prudent fiscal norms are nothing but when government is able to contain the fiscal deficit to a limit that it can able to make the economic good and without having much borrowings on it. So whenever government is able to contain the fiscal deficit, it means government is following a prudent fiscal norms. Okay, if government is not able to contain the deficit and the deficit is going beyond the government's revenue growth rate, then it is said that government is not following prudent fiscal norms. So if the debt per capita is increasing, it means government borrowings are increasing. Government borrowings are increasing is nothing but what? Fiscal deficit is increasing or not? Yes. So that's why if the debt per capita is increasing, it is against the prudent fiscal norms, and if it is decreasing, it is balle to the government. And Revanth Reddy sir can say in the assembly, see, debt per capita is decreased, so we are doing very well in the financial aspect of our state. If the debt per capita increases, another important burden on the people may be followed. Government may take the decision, may not take the decision, that is another matter, but one or the other day, as a normal common statement of various eminent economists, the money with the government is first of all not government money. It is a citizens' money. Remember this one. Government will have no source of money apart from citizens' money. Right. If government is taking loans, government is borrowing money, it means government is debt. It is indirectly people are debt. One or the other day we have to only pay. So that's why government may add extra burden on the people, as state may increase charges. Possibility is there. Fees, okay, possibility is there. University fee, college fee, tuition fee, whatever it is. Okay, challans government may increase. Okay, taxes to cover the interest and debt payments. Obviously, government is having appu means, government is having udhar means, it has to take from the people only. So in future, if this deficit increases, so government will definitely put pressure on the people. Then decrease in the government bond value. Suppose debt per capita is increasing, means per person debt is increasing, is nothing but what? Government is borrowing more, government debt is also increasing. When at that time, if government issues a bond to raise the money, people will not take. Why? Because people will think that government is having this much burden already. What government will pay to us 6 months, 6 years? Government cannot give us the returns on the bond. That is the reason the value of bond will decrease, and government has to offer in what? Higher rate of returns. That again leads to a vicious cycle of what? Debt burden on the government. More increase of the debt per capita means more borrowing by the government, as it is unable to meet the expenses. The more debt per capita increases, the more borrowings will be done by the government. That is all about the implications. So this point you have to write a very good answer you will be presenting on your paper. Okay, that will serve your purpose. Now, let us see this also. The sharp increase in debt compared to income growth indicates heavy reliance and on the borrowing to cover expenses, which could jeopardize fiscal stability. That is what I was also talking about. Suppose you are getting 100 rupees from your father, but your expenses are 200 rupees. So you are actually having 100 rupees. Okay, deficit. Suppose next month you again got 100 rupees from your father, and you got 300 rupees of expenses. Before 100 rupees you are having deficit, now 200 rupees you are having deficit. So 300 rupees you are having deficit or not? Yes. If this goes on continuing, what will be your mental state? You will be anxious, and you will be finding various illegal means to earn money. You will be cheating, you will be duping, you will be doing fraud. All these kinds of activity you will be involved, and if debt goes beyond your level of management, there is nothing that you can do. The people will go and suicide. That we also see in the newspapers. So that's why the sharp increase in debt. Okay, in the same way, if the government increases its debt per capita, okay, it means it is heavily relying on borrowings, which is not, which actually harms the fiscal stability of the state. So what can be done in this scenario? What can be done? This is very important for the answer writing. The continuous rise in debt for outpacing income gains underscores the need for strict fiscal reforms the government should follow to balance spending with the revenue generation. Nothing but how much money you are getting, try to increase it to, like if you're getting from your father 100 rupees, make it 120 rupees of expenses. That's all. Or 130 rupees of expenses, 30 rupees extra. But don't jump it. So that is what here it is saying, that if you wanted to get out of this debt burden, what you have to do is government should follow strict fiscal reforms to balance spending with revenue generation. What government is doing the spending, government should balance with generating the revenue. Tax base should increase, number of people in the tax should increase. Okay, new services should be offered to the have people, so that the wealthy people can take that particular services and government can generate the revenues, and reduce dependence upon the borrowings at the earliest, so that there should be a financial stability in the state, right? So now we will see the survey data, very beautiful data. We are having total debt, not so good information, not so good happiness to us, because the total debt increase, it means debt per capita also increase, so you may have to shell a lot of money in future in the form of increased prices for all the government services. Debt search from 2014 to 15, it was around 72,658 crores, and the number is too heavy. 23 to 24, in the latest economic outlook, we are having 6,71,000. So you just see that how bigger the jump is there. Okay, 7 6 are 42, 7 7 are 14, 7 8 are 57, 9s are 9 times almost. You can understand that that debt burden has increased 9 times, an increase over of 824.5%, nothing but close to what, 9 times only. So 824.5% of increase in the debt. So you just understand that our ship can sink anytime. As a result, per capita debt also rose significantly in the same year. In the 2014 to 15, it was around 20,000. Now every one of us is having a debt of around 1,76,360 rupees. The conclusion you have to definitely write. Okay, little bit more articulation we can do in our test series. If you happen to join it, do empower us and be a part of this test series. Bye bye, take care.